that meant to have that, because it kind of brings you full circle a little bit.
It does. You know, he was the roving minor league hitting guy when I broke into Nashville, so we've known each other a long time. And Clint not only was a great coach, manager, and mentor, but he's a better friend. And even when he was the hitting coach, when we were down in the cage, we did more talking about life, marriage, friendships than we did hitting and pitchers. And you know, you got to have your personal life. At least I did. I have to have my personal life in check, so I could go out and play good baseball.
Is it like that now when you travel around? That friendship similar? Just talk about anything. You go golf.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're way past. He helps me in everything that I do. You know, if I have a problem or an issue, he's my first sounding board.
Luke Zalman, Denver. Todd, I'm sure you've gotten numerous text calls from
Yes.
just about every. Are there any that maybe surprised you, maybe stuck out as, wow, I can't believe someone decided to reach out? I mean, what type of surprises did you get when you had that announcement?
You know, I heard from Derek Jeter, you know, George Brett, Joe Torre, Paul Molitor. I mean, guys that, you know, that are my heroes. Maybe not Jeter, but the other ones. But yeah, I mean, just how nice they were and welcoming. I've never heard it put as a Hall of Fame family, but that's, you know, that's what it is, and it's, you know, it's pretty special.
Patrick Saunders, Denver Post. Todd, a number of us talked to some of your former teammates, and the one thing that stood out to me was they all mentioned how about you were always a team first guy. How important was that to you to make that your legacy here in Colorado?
I don't think you can be a good teammate without putting the team first, and I don't think you can win if you got you know, 25, it's 26 now, guys that are just worried about themselves. You got to be able to sacrifice, you know, at bats, time, of helping your teammates to have a team that'll go out and compete for a championship.
Patrick Lyons, Just Baseball. Todd, when you're in Cooperstown, I know you got a chance to, you know, go behind the velvet rope, so to speak, and get to see some really historic items. What did you get to see, and what was most meaningful to you?
I got to see George Brett's bat, of the Pine Tar bat. Of course, I got to pick up Babe Ruth's bat. You know, I'm a bat guy, so I was, you know, I love picking up a bat and seeing what it feels like. And so there's a bunch of them there that I got to see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else as far as what bat that I remember. But there was a lot of cool things that they had set out down in the curator had that we got to see that probably a bunch of people don't get to see.
Todd, going back to that weekend, you said this summer is when it'll really sink in. You'll be around the other Hall of Famers. I think MLB might ask, is Peyton coming? Is he invited? You said everyone's invited. Have you started to wrap your mind around, as your family and friends start to figure out who all's coming and what that's going to look like? Because Cooperstown isn't the easiest place to get to. It's not the biggest place, but how many people that you'll be responsible for beyond the throngs of Rockies fans that we all make the trip to?
You know, like I said, everybody's invited, especially the fans of Colorado, fans of Tennessee. I think it's going to be a good time, and you know, I'm excited for it. But anybody can come. Come on.
I wanted to go back to your time in the curator room. You picked up Babe Ruth's bat. What did that feel like? Did you imagine yourself swinging that, or were there any bats that, man, this feels magical?
Babe Ruth's bat didn't feel magical. It felt really heavy and really long. I don't know how you swing a bat that big. It was really heavy. What was the question?
Just, were there other bats that were magical for you?
Those were the two that really stuck out. I'm trying to think, was there any other cool things? Yeah, Wade Boggs' glove. There was a bunch of cool gloves, you know, the older gloves that we got to see. The glove that was cool, Jack, that Willie Mays made the catch in. You know, I got to hold that very carefully, but I got to hold it. And it, you know, that's a very famous catch, maybe the famous catch in baseball. So that's a big deal to be able to hold that and see it. And it was funny for my daughters to see how small those gloves used to be. You know, and how good they had to have been to catch a baseball with those little things.
Todd, you joked about it, you had to play with a scowl, that's how you had to approach the game, it was hard to enjoy it, but now that you're.
No, I enjoyed it.
But you had to love it, but.
I've enjoyed grinding. I enjoyed the whole thing, yes.
To have your family appreciate this moment, because your girls are older, your wife,
Yep.
Christy, does it make it resonate more? Because when you're going through it as a player, obviously your daughters were a lot younger, does it make it different to appreciate it together as a family now? That you're not like in a game and you're not, that it's more of a familial process?
Yeah, you know, I'm with them a lot more. We can experience this together, which is cool. I want to experience it with my family, with my friends, with the fans. But yeah, just to, you know, my youngest daughter, Gentry, you know, she doesn't remember me playing that much. So for her to get to see old videos and to see the history of the game and being put right there with them in the history of the game, I think it's pretty neat that I'm glad that she gets to see.
Got Owen on the left end.
Todd, Owen Perkins. I'm sure there are a lot of different people that you're excited to share being in the hall with them for different reasons, but have you talked to Larry Walker, and what's it mean for you to be in the hall with him, with your old teammate?
Oh, I mean, it's huge. Like, you know, I owe Larry a big thanks. He paved the way for me to get in, and you know, I'm very aware of that and very appreciative of that. I have talked to Larry. I haven't asked him if he's coming in July. I just figured he would, since most of the guys do come back. But yeah, Larry's very nice. All the guys that I've talked to and seen have just been so nice and welcoming.
Todd, hi. Arnaldo Moritz, Univision. Nice to meet you and congratulations. Through your career, how important were the Latino fans? The Rockies is a team with a lot of Latino fans. Actually, the team is playing in Mexico this year. And how important were they for you?
Latino fans?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
The support.
Yeah, I don't know if I dealt too much. You know, I had Benny on my team most of the time, and Neffy, and they took all the spotlight from the Latino fans. I think more than the Latino fans is the Latino players that I played with. You know, they bring heart, soul. You know, they come to the ballpark. I'm generalizing, but like Neffy came to the park every day ready to play, and you respect that. And those guys love baseball, and just like you do, and you respect that as well.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for Todd? Denny?
Dennis Georgiades with Associated Press. I just, during the last 6 years, were you always thinking this day would come?
No. I never thought it would come. I didn't think my phone was gonna ring. You know, once I retired, people said, we'll see you in the Hall of Fame, and, you know, I was nice and cordial with them, but in the back of my mind, I thought there's no way I can make the Hall of Fame just because it's such an exclusive club. So to make it is, it's very surreal.
Todd, each time you come back, obviously the fans are really happy to see you, and you know, last time you were here, Larry's retired number had the gold around the number. Next time you're back, you will see that. Have you thought about the impact that's going to be to have that gold ring around your retired number, as yours was the first in the franchise history?
You know, just on the walk down here, I got told that they put gold around there, so I had no idea. So I think it's a great idea and it's cool, and I'm excited for mine to have gold around it as well.
Renee, to the right.
Hi Todd, I'm Renee Deckert with Purple Row. In addition to all of your stats, your mentorship and your leadership has been a huge part of your career and what's defined you. How are you, as you work more with prospects in the organization, how are you taking this new award that you've got, combined with your experience as a player, into what you're doing when you work with younger players and prospects in the organization?
You know, I don't think it changes anything. I think I go out and, you know, work with them, same as I always have. They might listen to me a little bit more, be one thing. But other than that, nothing changes. I love working with the minor league kids. They're hungry. They're willing to learn, and they'll do anything to get to the big leagues. And that's, you know, that's what I love. That's just the way I was, and that's the way I want to see our young guys fight tooth and nail to get to the big leagues, so they can get here and help this team win.
Back to Owen on the left.
And talking about the things that you saw at the hall and the objects there, are any of your items in the hall? Did you see any of those? Or if not yours, were there other things that you came in contact with during your career that you saw again when you went back to the hall?
You know, the bat that I hit my last home run is displayed there. It's Michael Kadyr's bat, but I used it, hit the homer. There's, you know, my first home run I hit with Mark Strickmanner's bat. So I probably hit more home runs with other people's bats than I did my own, and I had some good bats. But if I didn't get a hit the first couple times, I would run upstairs to change my luck.
Michael in the front.
Todd, good afternoon, Mike Lyle, KUNC Radio, how are you?
Good.
You probably get asked this question a lot, but what would you say was one of your fondest moments in your 17-year career here with the Rockies? I know there's plenty of them, but what
Yeah,
do
that's
you
pretty.
think is one
I mean, that's simple. Winning the National League pennant and going to the World Series obviously is the highlight. If you want me to pick out a personal one, it's the home run that I hit the last game, because it was so. There was a lot of pressure on me when I was going to the field. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna have a bad day today. You know, it's just the way I thought. But you know, I did have I was working on a new swing like the last couple of weeks, and it was working. So my dad was like, after the game, he came up to me and said, "You're not retiring." And I said, "Dad, it's done. I'm sorry."
Brandon?
Todd, with so much being made about your offensive numbers, you know, you've been asked about your defense and how that was maybe a negative coming in. I remember Jim Tracy telling us he thought you were the best receiver of the baseball he'd ever been around. He's actually been around plenty. So when people highlight your defense, I guess, how much of a point of pride is that because so much is focused on your offensive numbers?
I don't think it's a sense of pride because they focus on my offensive numbers. I think defense is pride to begin with, hard work. I think that any halfway decent athlete, you know, with the will to work, can become good defensive baseball player. And so when I was, the other thing probably makes it so special is like when I was in AA, the knock on me was I would never make the big leagues because of my defense. And so I took that to heart. It scared me to death when I heard that. Bob Gebhardt's the one who told me. It wasn't like I just heard it from a fan. I heard it from the GM. So I worked hard at that point. Worked harder than I've ever worked, and put a lot of emphasis on it. I think it's important to note that there's so many people that have had a hand in me being here today, in the Hall of Fame, just in the big leagues. And it took a village from, I mean, I'm talking about coaches, and coaches in the minor leagues, guys that I'll never be able to say thank you enough to. You know, I'm not, there's so many names that I'm not gonna be able to mention all of them, but I am very appreciative of every coach or every person that helped me. Very appreciative of their help to get me here.
Anything else for Todd? We got time for a couple more if anyone's got anything. All right. Todd, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you down in July. If you guys want to hang tight, we got Nolan Jones coming in. You, Todd. Nolan Jones in about 15 minutes. Same thing, we'll just have him up here, pass the mic around. Buddy, Bill after that. Good job.